Welcome to the Best 5-Minute Wine Podcast. I'm your host, Forrest Kelly. From the seed to the glass, wine has a past. Our aim at the Best 5-Minute Wine Podcast is to look for adventure at wineries around the globe. After all, grape minds think alike. Let's start the adventure. Our featured winery is, we venture to Homer, Alaska. Population just over 5,000, the halibut fishing capital of the world, home to such famous people as the singer Jewel,
You were meant for me.
Mr. Motel 6 Tom Bodette.
We'll leave the light on for you.
Thanks, Tom. And Bear Creek Winery owner-operator Lewis.
That is correct.
So when we pull into the parking lot at Bear Creek Winery, what do we see?
Beautiful set of grounds and gardens that you can see. And so there's a little path people can walk through, and we've highlighted some of the berries, the fruits and berries that we use in our wines in the gardens.
Now, the first thing people think of, a winery in Alaska, how is that possible? Are there any hardships?
Well, yes. If we were trying to do it out of grapes, then it would be extremely difficult, which we've actually tried cultivating grapes, and they'll root and they do okay during the summer months, but then they're very, very difficult to overwinter with the cold. Our most challenging thing is probably shipping items, getting stuff up here and getting things back down to the lower 48 is always a challenge and costly.
In the early years, you were doing 5-gallon batches, and now you're over, 20,000 gallons a year?
That's correct. Yep. Right now we ship anywhere in the U.S.
So your featured wine, your home run, your Grand Slam home run wine would be?
Our strawberry rhubarb so we have two brands. One's Bear Creek, and the strawberry rhubarb is by far our most popular wine. It's a blend of, we make a strawberry wine and then a rhubarb wine and blend the two together. And then for our Glacier Bear, which is a sister label that we've produced, in order to highlight the guaranteed to be grown in Alaska fruit wines, we have a golden raspberry that we make that's extremely popular.
Do you get any pushback from traditional wineries?
No, not from wineries. Amongst other winemakers and things, everything's everybody's interested in what we're doing. We're interested in what they're doing, and it's very collaborative. We get more blowback from customers coming into the tasting room and not understanding what it is that we do than we do from people than we do from people in the industry.
Is the taste of a fruit wine that much different than that of a grape wine?
It's significantly different. The wines are, their wines are crafted well. We've produced award medal-winning wines, but the flavor profiles are dramatically different because they're not done. It's not a grape. So, I don't know if who's ever tried, like apple wine might be something they're more familiar with. And the fun part of it is because the flavor profiles are so much different, you have a whole new set of flavors that you can pair with dishes and for, different settings and occasions and things. So
is the process similar?
Yeah, the equipment's the same. We source our tanks and presses and of holding vats and all those kinds of things from the same vendors that a grape winery would. And we use all the same toolbox. We might do it in a different order than some other winery, but yeah, it's all the same. Still yeast and sugars and producing alcohol.
I understand you've got a lodge.
We do. We have 2 suites that guests can stay in, and then we also have an apartment, a 3-bedroom apartment, so people can stay on the grounds and enjoy tasting while they're here.
A typical day for you starts at what time in the morning?
I'm usually in the office at 8, and then heading home around 6. Our tasting room is open from until 6 o'clock every day all year.
This coming year, what does Bear Creek Winery have in store for us?
Looking forward to 2020 here. We got some new products coming out. We're going to try doing a sparkling apple wine. So we're going to try doing some cider. So we had a really good growing year last summer for apples, and we got quite a bit more than we would have expected. So we're got some extra juice to play around with and try some new products.
What are you most proud of at the winery?
Oh man, that's a tough one. I started out in the production side of things and making the wines, and the Glacier Bear label was one of my ideas. So I'm very excited about that and having that do well and showcasing those Alaska berries. And since I've taken over the whole thing, I'm quite proud of our staff and what a good crew we have. It's treat our crew like family type of deal. And
Where can we get a hold of you with a website address?
BearCreekWinery.com. You can also check out our sister label, GlacierBearWinery.com.
Something we learned today with Lewis of Bear Creek Winery is the flavor profiles are so much broader with fruit wines that it opens up the possibilities.
You have a whole new set of flavors that you can pair with dishes and for, different settings and occasions and things.
All right. Thank you, Lewis, for being our guest today. And hopefully one day we'll venture to Homer, Alaska and sample some of your creations.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. Glad you found us.
All right. That brings us up to our listener voicemail question.
Hi, this is Diane from Chicago. I wondered, how long does it take a grapevine to mature from seed?
Excellent question, Diane. There are many factors involved, of course, but up to 3 years is what the experts say. And one of the most crucial aspects of bringing it to fruition is pruning. We'll get into that in a different episode. Thank you for listening. I'm Forrest Kelly. This episode of the Best 5 Minute Wine Podcast was produced by iHizzle. If you like the show, please tell your friends and pets and subscribe. Until next time, pour the wine and ponder your next adventure.
This is Doug Vincent with the podcast Walk and Roll Live, Disability Stories. In 1956, I contracted polio. Thanks to my loving parents, I've lived a full, rich life over the past 67 years. Join me as I share my journey and uncover inspiring stories of resilience. This podcast is a platform for survivors of disability and those who champion services for the disabled community. Tune in on Spotify, iHeartRadio, iTunes, whatever your favorite podcast platform is. Let's walk and roll together on this incredible journey of strength and empowerment.